It happens a lot. You'd be really surprised. I probably shouldn't be saying that aloud. I probably just lost my credibility in many, many circles, but literally that is a lot of how it goes.
Drunk, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin' Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin' Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
There he is, Madrox. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Of course, you got the new record, which I was listening to this morning, man. That is something else. We'll talk about that here coming up in a second. But this double feature happening this week at St. Andrew's Hall. Double the dose, House of Krazees. The funeral portrait, all sorts of things happening. So instead of letting me ramble on about what you have going on, just explain it to us.
Okay. On the 29th, which is tomorrow, in the shelter, we will have House of Krazees performing for the first time in a very long time. A very special show. We have a new record coming out for them called 31. So it's like a throwback, man. It's a good vibe. We're excited to do that. And then the next day, the double feature, hence the double feature. The next day on the 30th, will be Twiztid upstairs in St. Andrew's Hall with the funeral portrait and Blaze Your Dead Homie and all of our fans and friends and people hanging out with us and getting ready to throw down, bro. It's going to be a good time.
Now, as people are listening to this, maybe on the days, whatever, it's Tuesday the 29th, Wednesday the 30th.
Yep.
That's the Friday night double feature. It's a great time of year for the guys from Twiztid and everybody in your camp, right?
Absolutely, man. We every day is Halloween for us. We live for this kind of thing. So of course, this is like Christmas to us, with Christmas right behind, obviously, but this is like Christmas to us.
Right, exactly. Speaking of Christmas, did you see the new Terrifier?
I've seen parts and pieces. I feel I've seen a good enough version of it to get a handle on it, and it's gory. Yeah. It's Damien Leone it has a view of horror that is very akin to 80s very gore practical effects. I love it. It's good vibes. I was supposed to go to the thing with Jay Towers the other day, and I couldn't make it. It has been the craziest time for us, man. I go to take a shit and I don't have time to wipe my ass. I'm that guy. I promise you, I'm not dirty. I'm not soiled. I promise you. But nevertheless, that guy, dude, that's the guy. Like that's who I am this day. So I'm trying to not be the half-assed person and be a full ass.
Yeah, be a full ass, right? So you talk about being so busy. So what else besides what we've been discussing?
Well, finishing on the Welcome to Your Funeral record. That's been now that it's finally all completed and starting to work on. We had a video for Dance on My Grave, and had some love with Octane playing it and spinning it. So like it's been like a whole new world for us. We were added to a playlist, the new playlist on Spotify for our song Plastic. So a lot of our singles that have been, coming out in anticipation, like the build up to the record, which will be out first quarter of 2025. I don't want to say a date because I hate when people say dates and they don't know the proper date, and I just say first quarter because I'm hoping I'm in them bookends, Yeah. Nevertheless, but yeah, man, it's been really exciting. And then on top of that, then the talks about Fright Fest, and us, we're really hands on, so we're trying to do fun stuff. Like we have for those who attend both the 29th and the 30th show, there's a special single that you get at the end of the night as like a trick or treat from us for, attending the show, something as a momentum to be like, oh, I was there. A memento.
Memento, yeah.
It's my momentum to have mementos, but yes. But nevertheless, so we try to be hands on and have lots of fun stuff. So like, it's like, the kickback for pulling up for us. We appreciate everyone's time. We know that it's important. So.
Well, let's talk about the new record, because this record is heavy. There's lots of guitars, there's lots of bass, there's lots of drums. This thing is pretty wild. So you mentioned
it is.
And Dance on My Grave and stuff. So tell everybody the rest of the flavor, because I could talk about it, but you guys lived it.
It was a different process as far as us with recording with Zeus. So for those who don't know, we reached out to Zeus, Rob Zombie's producer. So the record has a way heavier sound. Everything from like death metal to gent. There's a little splash of everything, which is fun. And it was a learning process for me too, because talking with Zeus and learning how, like, he explained to me about gent and all these crazy things. Like I know, but I don't know. That's why I don't speak a lot, because I don't know all the things I talk about. But nevertheless, the recording process with him was like different. We have our own way of how we've done it all the while. And because I want to say that it started, if my mind serves me correct, I believe it was on the heels of COVID. So the world had just started opening up or whatever. So it was this kind of a like ping pong and back and forth in the email, Dropbox, what have you. Like I sent him, like it was a very therapeutic thing for me. Like I was very self-conscious. I sent him a bunch of voice notes and melodies and choruses and just things that I had recorded down, and was like, hey, listen to this, and I'm waiting for him to be like, man, this is trash. This is trash. We're not, but he was like, I'm really intrigued by a lot of this, and started sending me back music set to certain aspects of things that he liked. And songs started to take shape. And as we passed them back and forth, it was like, holy shit, this started off and it was just a melody, or like a little 3-sentence part. And now it's a whole song, or now there's a whole bridge and a chorus, and just his he finally later came here to Michigan with us and sat down as we finished the stuff with the record. And again, that was even crazy too. Just like every day, like our process of recording and talking about what we were doing and how we were doing it, and how his way of coming up with lyrics for songs. Like he would explain something needs to go here, and having that springboard, or that person to look back on to say like, what do you think? Is this good? Is this trash? Where are we at with this? And having him be like that voice and being like, I think it should be this. I think it's that. And not only that, but we had another friend in the process, Ryan Downing, who came in and was also like, I want to hear it as well, because he very close in the process with us and listened and gave his 2 cents. And I honestly feel like without him adding in his, we wouldn't have got the final product that you heard. Because when I say that, it went through a lot of transformations and a lot of alterations and a lot of just things. Like I want to say 3 or 4 songs that have 2 completely different versions, because we were just so like, a lot of it was experimental. What sounds good? Because we've been trying to do like rock. We would have attempted times in the past to do rock music, but it always, in my opinion, seemed to fall short of, like, you could tell, like, I get what you're doing, you're just not executing it properly. Like, people, in hindsight, as the person, I see that, I could hear that. So now having this be real and having it have that, like, whoa, this is it. This is real. Like, this is what we were missing before. Someone who knew what the hell they were doing and could really get this beast in there and make it, rah. So, like, just a really good experience, man. Not only just learning, but just as, finding a new friend in music and new procedures and new tactics of how to get songs done.
Well,
like, I'm sorry.
A couple of things about that. So have you worked with Zeus before? And B, you guys have recorded obviously tons of stuff. So do you get set in your ways with how you go about recording and writing songs? And when somebody else comes in, it's kind of a little bit of a culture shock?
Yes. Yeah, no, we haven't worked with Zeus before. Yes, it was very much like a culture shock, because we're very onto ourselves. Like, for a lot of our, since like inception, really, it would be like, from a rapper's perspective, we get the beat, everybody go to your own little respective corner and work it out in your head what you have, and then you say, I got mine. And then you go in and spit what you have. And then people in the room who haven't rapped yet, they're listening to you and they're like, oh man, this is perfect. I fit with that. Or, oh, I need to rewrite. I might be way off. What are we writing the same? So that would be that way from the past, where this is just like completely different. It's like, oh, well, you have this part of the song here and this is good, but why does it do this? And I'm like, what? Why does it do that? Like asking questions that normally I wouldn't ask Paul, and Paul definitely wouldn't ask me. So having this third party being like, why does that do that? And I'm like, because I thought it was cool. Well, it's not. Like, damn it, I can take it. I can take it. But it's having that clarity and that trust is, I think, how we get to having such a cohesive end result for the record, because when you hear it, it's unlike any other Twiztid record I feel that we've done thus far, and you can hear a progression in sound and also just in professionalism and us growing as artists, even as old as we may be, still growing yet.
No, this record, I was going to ask you how much different this record is from stuff you've done in the past, because obviously you know your catalog way better than I do, but all the stuff that I've heard from you guys, this record is nothing like any of that.
I would say, yeah, it's a lot different, but then again, there are elements, and that was where the conversation with the person Ryan I talked about, who was like a voice of reason to us, and was like, at the same time, while you're growing, don't forget who you are and where you come from. So a lot of the elements in some of the songs, that's where we go back in and we're like, okay, wait a minute, say rap right here. You know what I mean? Like, because you're starting to see now in the genre where more metal, new metal, rock, what have you, are starting to rap more. So it's like, don't lose who you are as you're striving for something else. Like if you are really the jack of all trades, or really good at what you can do them all. So do them all, but don't be afraid to fail and don't be afraid to try. So that's literally the fucking lanes we have been existing and living in. And I think it's brought out the best in us in this particular record. And I'm going to say it for years to come, because like in other projects as well, because I feel like I have a different set of eyes on things and how I look at things now, especially like after that whole process and just working with other people. And each time I work with a different producer, or whether it be musical songwriter, what have you, that the element that you get is completely different. And I find that like super intriguing, and I'm absolutely addicted to that, because like, I didn't know that was that way. We were, again, I promise you, bro, you know us, we're very onto ourselves. Not that we think we know everything. It's just that it's safer that way. So I'm like, screw safe. Now I just want it to be cool. So it's like, I'm opening myself to new experiences and allowing myself to be critiqued and criticized, as well as trying to strengthen my writing skills and whatnot, and stay in lanes where I feel like where we thrive, and show off that more, maybe, instead of something else where you're not good at, you know?
Yeah, no, bringing in a different set of ears like that, and somebody with different sensibilities and has worked with all sorts of different projects.
For real.
And like you said, it's like in the past, you would have done it this way. Then you bring in that third set of ears. They're like, yeah, well, that's not great. Let's try this.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's like normal, stubborn, pig-headed way of thinking. No, this is perfect. This is right. I mean, I've had horrible conversations with like producers that have like gold plaques and platinum plaques covering their walls. And at times, like, I just have to be like, look, my bad. I'll shut the fuck up. I don't have those things. So clearly you have a better footing and your opinion is above mine. I will respect that, as I am seeking you out for your counsel, for your knowledge, bro. Like, absolutely. So like, it's a humbling experience, but at the same time, putting yourself in that position makes you more susceptible to learn. And not be afraid to be critiqued and criticized. Again, that's one of the biggest takeaways from this record, I think, for me at least.
Now, when people come to the shows this week, especially the one in St. Andrews Hall, where you know and stuff, how will you guys play some new stuff off the record?
We made an agreement that we were going to hold that off. We were originally supposed to go with Cold Chamber on a tour with them, and it got, due to medical reasons or whatnot, Dez and Cold Chamber had something going on, and so the tour was postponed and pushed back to, I want to say, the beginning of 2025. Hence the release of the record. And we, with the way that we have it set up, is all of that stuff was running in tandem that way. So like with the band and everything, and I don't want to not give the people the full, like, when you see it, I want you to see it right. So for the shows on the 30th for Twiztid, we won't have the full band. So I don't feel that that's the proper light in seeing it. So you won't see none of the newer material there. But on the run with Cold Chamber, absolutely, totally. The set has like, I don't know, 4 or 5 new tunes in there. Like, we're pretty more heavier than usual.
So you'll have a band with you up on stage?
For the Cold Chamber run, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and but we won't though for the 30th show. It's going to be more like classic Twiztid, the duo stuff, the rap, more rap oriented. But yeah, for the Cold Chamber run, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if you're going to have like just the backing tracks and
No. Well, our drummer Dan Fox, he's amazing. Like he works with a bunch of people from Marilyn Manson to Dope, and like he's just all about amazing guy. And Derek Obscura on guitars. So we have like our unit that picks and plays with us and vibes out with the songs. So again, I feel like that structure would be better in the proper light to see the songs. So you get it how we intend it.
And those guys are the ones playing on the record.
No.
Okay.
No. Right, no, not at all. Those guys, the guy playing on the record is Zeus.
Okay.
Zeus is very meticulous about how he is, how his production works. He played all of the instruments on the record.
Wow.
So, like he's everything. So my guys have to learn what he played in order to make the songs.
Okay.
Pop live. It's a process, but I trust it because like Zeus is a fucking phenomenal guitar player. So the way he wrote the songs are how they are. It happens a lot. You'd be really surprised. I probably shouldn't be saying that aloud. I probably just lost my credibility in many, many circles, but literally that is a lot of how it goes, believe it or not.
No kidding. I was wondering about that. I was wondering if he brought in outside sources, because I know like a lot of times some of these guys will bring in like a Chad Smith, on some of the more rock stuff.
For sure.
Record's a lot more harder rock than that.
Absolutely.
And they bring in some of their friends and guys they've worked with before, but he did it all.
No, he did it all. I take that back. He on the drums was one of his buddies who is the singer of, I want to say, Queensryche.
Really?
Is playing drums on the record.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Because that's an extension of him. That's one of his pals, and he was like, I promise you he can nail it. And I'm like, I trust you. So, and when you hear it, I mean, he's crushing it. He's killing it. And my guys are like, okay, we get it. Send us the tracks. We're on it. You know what I mean? And it's insane, man. I love it. I love how everybody's just like, rock steady, ready to ride.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to having everybody else hear the rest of it because, man, it is a crusher, man.
I appreciate that, man. Hell yeah. I'm telling you, man, I feel like we made something really, really solid this time around. It's really good.
It's a balladless, nonstop bombast.
I wanted a ballad on there. You know me. I love Cinderella. I wanted to. They shut me down. See what happens? Like, I get my way all the time. That's probably a good thing.
Hey, so you mentioned we were talking about Terrifier earlier, and you mentioned Damien, or is it Damien?
Yeah, Damien Leone. Yep.
I know I wanted to go to that thing as well, and I actually messaged Jay about that. I probably shouldn't be talking about that. I might lose some credit as well myself. He's one of the nicest guys, by the way.
He really is. He's a total cool dude. I love him.
Yeah, but I was actually out of town. But anyway, so he's been at Astronomicon, so you guys are working on that coming up for March or April or something?
I want to say, yeah, we're kicking around a date right now, trying to finalize a few particulars, trying to get the lineup together, all types of fun stuff. Location, it's good. We're looking to up the stakes and mix it up a little bit, keep it fresh.
Oh, you think you're going to move it somewhere else?
I'm hoping if I have my way. You didn't hear that from me.
That thing has become such a great Comic-Con, man.
I love that. I really do. It's probably because it's like a lot of the things we do. It's a passion project. We love it so very much that we put our heart and soul into it. And we want to make sure that it's like, what would it be like if we were attending? Yeah. Would you be pissed if that happened to you? Would you be mad if someone did that to you? That's how, I mean, it sounds corny and cheesy, but when we think like that, a lot of the times we correct a lot of the fuck ups and things that may happen to get someone to be like, you had such a humble Comic-Con and then it just got so commercial and everybody's an asshole. It's like, I'm glad that never happens. And it's because the way that we have it, that has brought about other guests who have attended to be like, I'm inspired to do one of these myself. So I think that's pretty cool too, just to say that. I mean, it's like, I enjoy the fact that we've made something that has brought people together to celebrate our love of pop culture, and other people can find something in that to celebrate their version of pop culture or horror culture or whatever, what have you, wrestling or whatnot. It's like, it's a good melting pot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on here in Detroit as far as wrestling Comic-Cons and all sorts of stuff. Did you guys take part in the one in Spencer Charnas's Comic-Con out on the East Coast, or was that
The
just,
Silver Scream?
is that just pretty much George and stuff? And
Yeah, we were attendees at the first one. We weren't able to be at the second one, the one that just happened.
okay.
But I haven't seen anything but awesome. Like everything I seen was amazing. Like the panels, just people smiles on faces. So again, it's the strong team and the structure and the people who know how to provide fan service for people who are there to have a good time and leave with a smile, and the momentums and all that stuff.
What are some
Mementos?
Yeah, mementos. Yeah,
I keep saying momentums.
I know. We're all stressed out and overworked.
So is.
Hey, tell me, what is a guest or two that you've tried for years to get, and it still kind of eludes you?
Let's see. We tried to talk to Cassandra Peterson, who Elvira, obviously, and in the beginning, there were a lot of people that told us just no, because they don't do first time conventions, and it's probably because that's a polite way to say that we don't know if your convention's going to be trash, like there could be tumbleweeds blowing down the aisle and it's not worth us, we won't make our money, so on and so forth. But it's like it was just a no. That's cool. There's been a bunch of people that we tried to get, like Paul Rubens, obviously. We really tried to get Pee Wee Herman. That would have been great, rest in peace. But we did try to reach out. And I love Robert Englund, obviously Freddy Krueger. We were talking with him and his wife. His wife handles a lot of his affairs and his bookings and what have you. And we were talking, and like a lot of what we do too is not only just for the customer portion of it, but it's also the talent portion of it too, trying to make sure that everybody's facilitated and happy, because that's how it is too. Like if you get somebody who may or may not be above your caliber of guest and they do you a solid and pull up for you and you treat them like shit, the word will get around and they won't come back. So we, again, with everyone and everything, we try to make sure we accommodate everybody. Like, what will you need? What would you like? What do you, and try to accommodate all those things to make people, not only sing your praises, but be happy and being like, I like your convention. It's not as big as most of them that I come to, but there's something here that I don't see at any of the other ones. Tact, love.
Yeah.
Love. Yeah.
Love. Yeah. Love your neighbor.
Yeah. Well, maybe your neighbor's an asshole. Don't love your neighbor. Your neighbor might be a creep. I don't know.
No, dude, Astronomicon is so much fun. I love going there.
It really is, though. It really is. And I think that's cool. And it's number 8 coming up, man. So yeah, we've been doing it for a minute.
It is pretty wild to walk up and down the aisleways and see people that, like, for example, Bonnie, who plays a nun. Like you see it on TV. Next thing you know, she's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, Bonnie Aarons. Yep.
Stars with wrestling. Mankind and whatnot,
for sure. And just how down to earth they are. You think that, and a lot of people have that like disconnect because you know that person from the television and they're always acting that way when you see them on the television, and then you see them in person and, oh man, they're just like you. They're just like me. They chit chat with you. They give a fuck about you. How's your day? You want to know what my day is? You're fucking Mick Foley. Who the fuck you give a fuck? Have a nice day. Oh, I knew you were setting me up. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's that kind of just the camaraderie, just people who really care about being there. You can tell. And that's one of the reasons why we pick so carefully and try to go with more positive guests who we know will bring that kind of love and magic to the floor. Because you don't want sour grapes out there. People waiting 3 hours to meet somebody and you're pissy, go home. Say you can't make it. You know what I mean? It's like, so those things factor in as well. Luckily, we've been graced to have good people. So it's all been good.
Hey, final thing here for you. I know I just mentioned Terrifier 3 earlier, like we've been talking about. What's the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw was called Long Legs.
Oh yeah, that was wild, wasn't it?
It was weird. I had to watch it twice.
Yeah.
And then I found myself so intrigued that I went online and I can't believe I'm admitting this. I watched the ending explained.
Okay.
I felt like it went over my head. And Paul said the same thing. Paul was like, I don't know what the fuck happened with Long Legs. I felt like I didn't get it. And I'm like, I felt like I got it. I just felt like there were times where, and when it was explained to me, I was sort of close. If you've seen it, you might want. I'll send you a link when we're done with it. I'll send you a link, and you just and see if you text me and you'd be like, I had no fucking clue, or you're like, that's exactly what I thought, because and that's what I like about the movie is like movies like that, and both Barbarian. You've seen Barbarian before?
Yep.
Great, just like a fucking train ride of craziness. That where the fuck is this going? I didn't expect to see this, and now I'm glad I did. And I have to tell everybody about it because it's like nowadays a movie is either so huge that everybody's telling you about it until you find one of them secret little like screen gems and you want to tell everybody else about it. So that's why those are like more my movies.
Yeah, Longlegs was great, and it was wild because I'm watching the thing and I'm like, what? Wait, that's Nicolas Cage.
I know. Oh man, I got my brain blown on that one. I was like, there's no way. Yeah. And then hearing about that, like again in the lore, which is not explained in the movie, that he was a singer of a band, and that's he got some sort of I think it was plastic surgery so many times, and now he wears this makeup to cover that, and all the cuckoo and all that, the bird tying into the net. Oh man, there is lore in there. It is a virtual rabbit hole of craziness.
Man, I can't. I gotta watch that one again now that you mention it. So.
Seriously, man. Wait till I send you that thing first, and then watch it, check it, and see what you think. It's crazy. It's like, and I love that there are people that are so into it that they'll do like a whole video on it, just explaining to you what people like me with a small attention span.
I'm with you. Just whatever you do, don't go see the Joker. That was awful.
Oh man, bro. I haven't seen anybody say a good thing about it, and that stinks because I knew that was going to be that way. And the only reason I knew that is because I still haven't even seen the first Joker. And everybody tells me, oh, I'm an asshole, I should have gave it a chance. I'm like, no, it's because you guys gave that a chance. That's why we got part 2. And if you would have gave that one a chance too, I promise you'd have been a part 3, even more further away from the Joker. Like, I just don't understand.
I'll tell you what, I loved the first Joker. I thought it was fantastic. By the way, it's Joaquin's birthday today, so you can send him a little.
Is it? Happy birthday, Joaquin. I still appreciate his contribution to the world of Joker, the character. I will always. He's definitely in the rogues gallery there. Not way beneath Cesar Romero, obviously, in my mind. But he's in there. Yeah, and I love him for that.
Well, listen, dude, I'll let you go here. Of course, a big week this week at St. Andrews Hall. Have fun. Happy Halloween. And thanks for doing this.
Same to you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much as always.